Guys, in this part of the NS series, I'll be showing you a different type of video where we have the notation of Skewb NS, the basic way to recognize most of the cases, and also what NS is. So first of all, what is it? The beginner method to solve the Skewb is you solve a layer with like one algorithm, and then you put all the yellow pieces on the top, and all the yellow corners on the top, then the center, which in this case happens to already be at the top, and then you solve this layer with some sledges. Now the intermediate method, which is what a lot of people use, you solve the layer but a little more intuitively. Then you do a specific set of sledges and hedges so you can solve the top layer corners and centers at the same time. So that. And then you will be learning 3 algorithms to solve the Z-perm, the H-perm, and the U-perm. In this case, we got a H-perm. Now, SARS Advanced is a method where you once again solve the layer intuitively. But in this case, we just got a U-perm. But in other cases, you may have a random case. You solve that with a select of sledges and hedges. This method has over 100 algorithms, so it's very hard to learn. And now NS. NS is one of the best methods for Skewb. So what you do is, once again, you solve the layer in an intuitive way, and you solve the remaining pieces by some random moves. In this case, it's better to just do 2 sledges, but in most situations, so for example this one, it's better to just do a random select of moves to solve the cases. Now, normal Skewb notation for scrambling that we say is like U prime, R prime, L prime, and B prime. But Skewb NS notation is slightly different. So Skewb NS notation goes like this. So this move is called lil r. So this is a lil r prime, and sometimes you will do lil r2s and lil r2 primes, but that's not happening very often. Now the normal big R is this. So this is big R prime, and sometimes you will need to do double moves. Now for the lil L, it's this move. So lil L, lil R prime. Now don't get confused with big R. They're different things because lil L does left move, and lil R does like this. So big R I meant. So big R is kind of like L but with a rotation. So they're slightly different. And now big L, it's like this. Big L prime. And then double moves if you have to do them. Now for F moves, we're going to have this. So this is the big F. So big F prime, and double moves just in case. And then this is lil F prime. So it's kind of like a D move. And now for the B moves, we don't have U or D layers like 3x3. So this is big B. So big B prime, and then double moves. And this is lil b. So lil b prime. It's kind of like big B on normal Skewb notation. Now for the recognition of cases. Let me just first set some cases. So I will be telling you the Joy Square one setup real quick. So you need Graphics, Dignitas, and FZ Glide, and Speedy placed now, and a washer. Clean up the square one, and once you disassemble it, put in one of the halves some Dignitas and Gravitas, more Dignitas. So these are a few of cases. Wait, I didn't set this one up. Okay, so these are a few cases. First of all, we're going to talk about the 3 cycles. Here they are. So first, we've got the vertical U-perm. So vertical U-perm is this, where you've got yellow and white solved, but you've got a U-perm on this layer. So this you solve it with a base U-perm algorithm. And this is vertical U-perm, the last one was horizontal U-perm. So these are different because for NS, say you now also have peanut. If you have peanut in here, like if you do peanut in here, it will be different than if you do peanut on the other U-perm. But solve-wise, they go the exact same way. Now these are slightly different to solve. So here are the O-perms. The first one goes clockwise, that's how you recognize it. Or if there are blocks, in the NS case, I will show you how in the NS tutorial. And this one goes counterclockwise. They're slightly different. I will be showing these in the 3 cycles tutorial, but that one will not be very needed. For the remainder of the setup, after you apply the gravitas and the dignitas, apply the FZ glide and the lubricant on the exact same way in a circular motion, and also lubricate the springs and the washer with some gravitas because that makes them last a little longer, and also replace the yellow side with the black side because I like it like that. Now we do. So the next cases we'll be covering are the 4 cycles. So you have 4 pieces not solved. I can't hold them all. So first we'll be having the ones where the yellow center is once again solved. So this first one is Z-perm when these need to swap and these need to swap. It's just Z-perm. You should probably already know this. I have a video actually showing 5 different Z-perms, so if you're interested in that, watch it. It's short, just so you know. This is the H-perm where they're always opposites. Now, for these cases, these are the 4 cycles where there isn't the U center isn't solved. And we usually split them up in 2 categories. So the first 2 are where there's no opposite center. And how you recognize these is if these are on the left, so like if these 2 need swap are on the left, or if they are on the right. And the last one is where there are 2 opposite centers and not the top solved. So you just normally you would solve this with 3 sledges, but there's an NS case for it, so why do that? This keeps bad. And now the 5 cycles. Now we will be splitting up the 5 cycles in a few separate categories because they are a little bit different. Now these are the swirl perms. So how you recognize these is you hold the U center on, so you have no opposite centers. How you can tell them apart is if you see this center, if the center that is not the U center, like the yellow center in this case, if it needs to move to the right, it's clockwise. If it needs to move to the left, it's counterclockwise. So that's how you would tell them apart too. Now these are the walk perms where there is 1 opposite centerpiece. So you see there's 1 opposite centerpiece. How you can tell them apart is by holding the U center on the left and see if the opposite center is here. If it is, then you do one algorithm, and if it's not, then you do another algorithm. And now for the final few cases that will be shown in this video. So these are the pi plus, so these are the X-perms. How you recognize them is because of them having 2 opposite centerpieces, as you see, 2. And how you can tell them apart is once again you hold the U center on the left and see if there's an opposite. If there's an opposite, you do an algorithm. You do one of the algorithms if the opposite is facing it, and if it's not the opposite, you do a different algorithm. And now the final thing that I'll be showing you is solved pi and peanut. So I'll be showing you the exact same example to make it a little more consistent for all the places. So first of all, we got solved. The corners are solved. So usually you would call these 4C, 3C, 4C, and 5C, or just skip. Now we've got a We got a pie is when you've got headlights somewhere you can't have anywhere else. Just like recognized by that. And now peanut is when you have this. So there are two salt and two not salt. You usually hold it from the angle where these two match the color, like to recognize. So this is a little bit of a longer video. If you've gone this far, you probably are either interested on an S or something. So thanks for watching and bye.